As always, please excuse the background noise. So one of my observations throughout all of this is how amazing it is. Let me begin by saying, please study briefly, and if you're interested, study deeply, Stanley Milgram. For some reason, he's been put out of, when I say for some reason, he's been kind of pushed aside as any kind of a expert, and most especially his experiment that he ran. It's just been, you okay? Sorry about that. He's been kind of pushed aside as if his research is unimportant. It's pretty amazing, actually, that it would be pushed aside as deep as he went, as hard as he went, and not just that, what it exposed, because he wasn't trying to prove what he found out. He kept running the experiment because he didn't want it to be true. You'll have to go and do a little bit of research to understand what I'm speaking of. But he did not want what he was discovering. He thought that his experiments were gonna show that it was just isolated to Nazi Germany, having to do with a culture and a time, an amount of people, a group of people, and that was it. But what it showed is that anyone is capable of falling under the, I don't want to call it the guise of authority, like a guise of authority. You should be able to trust your authority, right? If you have people you voted in, you should be able to trust them. We know better, do we not? Or do we need to argue about this? So it's no surprise, at least in America, that you're going to find, for some reason, and believe it or not, 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, he was not controversial. But he's controversial suddenly. He hasn't even been on this earth he's been gone for some 20 years or something like that, maybe even a little bit longer. But what's amazing to me is I meet people, random people, not any of these actors, not any of these crisis actors or people that are working for the state or whatever the hell they are, but actual random people. And I know that they're being intercepted upon after meeting me. Whether it's because I have my phone on me and they have their phone on them, and it pings in such a manner that shows that there is a conversation between us, and so they're being contacted afterwards. And it's very strange to me that these people aren't stopping and saying, how the fuck do you know that I talked to that person? But that's not it, right? They tell them the crazy story, the false narrative, to get them to listen and then to open up to their authority. It's a very, very dangerous situation. So I just wanted to make this post real quick. Please do a little bit of research about Stanley Milgram. There's going to be a little bit of controversy here and there, but understand what it was that his experiment actually exposed. Understand why it is that suddenly he's being kind of discredited when he wasn't 10 years ago. 10 years and beyond, he was absolutely heralded for his work. He spent many years as a young child speaking with survivors of the Holocaust. Stanley Milgram was and is, like I said, he was really disappointed because he didn't want to find out. He didn't really believe in his own results, and he kept testing it to try to find a difference to make sure that he wasn't, that the results weren't what they were. But they are what they are, and as amazed as I say that I am, I also know the research, and I know that there's no big surprise there. But at the same time, you got to wonder what it is that I'm recording something. Sorry. And to understand best what it is that's going on with our country right now. Just nodding our heads in agreement. Okie dokie, ho ho ho. Sorry. And I'm not trying to make a terrible joke upon people, but what the hell are you doing? Okie dokie what? Okie dokie? There's no okie dokie. There's no okie dokie. People in authority, people with badges, people with uniforms, people that claim to be our leaders, yeah, we voted them in, so they're our leaders, just want you to nod in agreement. That should be your first clue that there's a problem. So I apologize to all the random people that I've met. Most of them, almost all of them, I never tell them what the situation is. I treat it as a random and genuine meeting, and I treat it as such, as I should, as any Christian would, or even anyone who believes in spirituality in any way, meditation and all the such, that the randomness of things should be highly respected. So what you need to understand is when things are not random, when there is intent beyond randomness, that's where you need to ask what their intention is. Doesn't matter if it's your congressperson, doesn't matter if it's the president of the United States, doesn't matter if it's your boss. It most definitely does not matter when it's somebody with a badge or so-called authority. The only thing that should matter is when you ask them their intent, that they give you an answer that matters. And if they cannot, then tell them to buzz off. You're an American. So am I. The only reason why I don't buzz nobody off is because I'm getting the evidence for you, for us, for the people. It's vitally important that people understand that as an American, you are the authority. I am the authority. We are the people. We choose our leaders. We choose our fate. Many of us have failed. All of us have failed. Look at what our country's doing. We have all failed to some degree. It doesn't have to be like that. Paying attention and rectifying the shit show that these leaders and our authority figures have us relying upon is our responsibility. Regardless, we let it get to this point, so it is our responsibility. So let's get to work, folks. It's very important for our country, for your neighbors, for your family, and for me and you. We are Americans. Let's hold hands. Let's get together. Let's look at those that are controlling us in a manner that is so unhealthy and toxic and obviously has no future in it. And let's let them know we don't stand for it anymore, and that the changes must be made. They must be made. They cannot not be made. We've got to make some changes.